Welcome back to the Iraqi Dinar News Channel, your trusted source for honest updates, real analysis, and grounded talk about the dinar revaluation. Today's topic is one of the biggest, most emotional discussions in this community right now. It's a headline that's stirring both fear and hope across the investor world. No LOP coming. That's right. We're breaking down why dinar holders like you will receive the exact same global exchange rate as everyone else when this revaluation finally happens. I see your comments, I read the concerns, and I completely understand where that fear comes from. People worry they'll wake up one morning to find that their investment has been lopped away. But today, we're going to break that fear down with logic, facts, and a clear explanation of how this process actually works. First, let's get something straight. A LOP, or redenomination, is a domestic action. It's not something that affects international holders like us. It's a tool central banks use inside their country to make their money easier to handle when inflation gets out of control. Picture it this way. If you live in Iraq and you're carrying around stacks of huge notes just to buy a loaf of bread, the government might issue smaller, simpler bills to make life easier. But here's the key. Those new bills still buy the same amount inside the country. It doesn't change the currency's external value. It's bookkeeping, not devaluation. Now, this is where many people get confused. The vast majority of dinar notes are inside Iraq, circulating among citizens for local transactions. That's the part affected by any redenomination. What we, as global investors, hold is a completely separate category. Our dinar is part of the international float, the currency traded on the global forex system. That means our notes are tied to Iraq's international monetary value, not the domestic exchange. They play by different rules. This leads us to one of the biggest myths floating around, that somehow a revaluation will bankrupt Iraq or destroy their economy. Nothing could be further from the truth. A proper revaluation isn't a loss for Iraq. It's a victory. It's how they unlock the true value of their economy and natural resources. When Iraq revalues on the global stage, they're not losing, they're joining the world. They're saying, we're open for business, we're stable, and our currency is ready to compete internationally. And when that happens, yes, we as investors benefit, but it's not a zero-sum game. It's a win-win. Think about it like this. Iraq gains credibility, stability, and trade partnerships. The world gets access to a newly stabilized, oil-rich economy, and the people who believed early, who held the dinar through the hard years, get rewarded for their patience. That's not greed. That's the natural result of an economic rebirth. Now let's talk about how Iraq keeps this system organized. The answer is currency controls, something every nation uses during major transitions. These controls make sure that the new, smaller denominations, the ones used locally, stay inside Iraq. They won't leak out into international markets. This is essential. It protects the value of the new domestic currency and keeps the global float, which we hold, completely separate and stable. This plan has been in motion for years. Iraq must manage the transition carefully, making sure that their domestic economy functions smoothly while the international exchange process takes shape. This is standard financial strategy, not chaos. It's how countries modernize their monetary systems without collapsing. Now you might ask, what about travelers, international business, or remittances? How do they handle that if the new dinar can't leave the country? Great question. And here's where Iraq's modern solution shines. They're not relying on old banking systems anymore. They're moving toward a digital or electronic dinar. This could be in the form of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, a stable coin, or a secure electronic platform linked directly to their banking network. That means people traveling or doing business abroad won't need to carry cash. Everything will move digitally, instantly and securely at the global rate. This digital approach isn't a threat. It's the future. It lets Iraq leapfrog outdated systems and integrate directly into the global financial network. It prevents smuggling, counterfeiting, and corruption, the very problems that plagued their old system. It's cleaner, faster, and more transparent. And it signals to the IMF and global banks that Iraq is ready for prime time. Now that you understand the difference between a redenomination and a revaluation, let's address the emotional side. Fearmongers love to use the word LOP because it triggers panic. But when you know the mechanics, that fear disappears. A LOP happens only inside Iraq. A revaluation, the big event we're waiting for, happens globally. And we, the international holders, are positioned for that global event. We hold the notes that will be exchanged worldwide. That's the golden ticket. So instead of wasting energy worrying about a LOP that doesn't affect you, shift your focus to preparation. Ask yourself, am I ready for what comes after? Because when this happens, and it will, you need a plan. You can't just walk into a local bank with millions in Dinar and think everything will sort itself out. Taxes, reporting, wealth management, these are serious realities. You need to think like a wealth builder, not a lottery winner. This is about generational wealth. It's about setting up your future and your family's future the right way. You need a professional plan, a trusted financial team, and the right tools. One of the best tools out there is something called a CRUT, a Charitable Remainder Unit Trust. If you haven't heard of it, write it down right now. Here's the basic idea. When the revaluation happens, your dinar will turn into a large taxable gain. A CRUT lets you legally place that asset into a trust, control it, and receive income from it for life, while dramatically reducing your upfront capital gains tax burden. You're not hiding anything. You're managing it smartly within the tax code. It's what wealthy families have done for generations to preserve wealth across decades. When you exchange your dinar, the IRS will treat the profit as capital gain. That could mean 20%, 30%, or more in taxes depending on your state and federal rates. But with a properly structured trust, you can defer and control those taxes strategically. That's how real wealth is built, through structure, not chance. This is why I keep saying, preparation is everything. The LOP talk is noise. The real work begins after the revaluation. Start researching now. Find a qualified estate attorney or tax strategist who understands charitable trusts and sudden wealth events. Don't rely on basic tax services. You need professionals experienced in high-value exchanges. Now let's bring it all together. The fear of a LOP comes from misunderstanding. The redenomination is a domestic event for Iraqi citizens. The international float, our arena, is for the revaluation. The new digital dinar keeps those two worlds separate and stable. When the global rate appears on Forex screens, it will be the same for everyone. Whether you're in New York, London, or Tokyo, that's how the international monetary system works. So stop refreshing your screen every 5 minutes looking for a rate. It will come when it's ready, when the financial plumbing is complete and Iraq's global systems are locked in. Your focus right now should be on preservation. Preserving your mindset, your discipline, and your future wealth. Don't let panic control your decisions. Let education guide them. The evidence overwhelmingly supports one conclusion. No LOP for international holders. A single global exchange rate for all. Strict currency controls to protect domestic stability. And a digital currency to ensure transparency. That's the roadmap. That's how it will unfold. You are not holding junk paper. You're holding a ticket to Iraq's economic future. You believed when it wasn't easy to believe. And now, as Iraq steps back onto the global stage, that belief is about to pay off in a major way. So, my advice to you tonight, stay calm, stay informed, and stay prepared. Build your plan now. Don't wait for headlines or rumors. This community is filled with people who care deeply about the future of this country and this currency. But only the informed will truly benefit. Remember, digital currency isn't your enemy. It's the proof that Iraq is ready to move forward. It's how they prove to the IMF and the world that their system is clean, stable, and modern. When you hear about a digital dinar or a CBDC, take that as confirmation that the plan is moving forward, not backward. Ask yourself this: why would Iraq spend years distributing dinar internationally, encouraging investment and global confidence only to LOP it and destroy that trust? It makes zero strategic sense. The whole point of the international float is to bring in foreign participation. They need global holders. They need that confidence. And they're not going to betray it. This is a partnership. Iraq and its investors rebuilding value together. And the destination is the same for all of us, a single powerful global rate. So be ready for it. Thank you for tuning in to the Iraqi Dinar News Channel. I hope this breakdown has cleared the fog, crushed the fear, and given you the confidence to move forward with strategy instead of stress. This isn't the time to panic, it's the time to prepare. We are standing at the edge of something historic. And when it unfolds, you'll want to be ready, emotionally, mentally, and financially. Stay focused, stay smart, and remember, education is your strongest currency. I'll see you in the next update, right here on the Iraqi Dinar News channel.